Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out USA versus Europe. Intelligence. Hit me.
If you've been on the internet in the last 2 years, you've probably come across videos like these.
Can you name any country on this map?
Yeah. Africa?
What country did the Vietnam War happen in?
Canada. Can you name?
I have seen these videos and they make me sad. It's hard to believe that people don't know these things. At least the lady knew where Africa was. She just didn't know that it's not a country, it's a continent. But, okay.
Name a country on this map.
Asia or Africa?
That's a continent.
Oh.
So where's Jamaica? Yeah, somewhere around like here.
So what's the deal? Are Americans really the ignorant dum-dums the internet presents them as? Or is this just a case of stereotyping and nitpicking for clout? Well, firstly, I want to make it very clear. I've met many Brits who couldn't name shit about European, American, or just the world's general history. Same with geography.
Okay.
I'd bargain that most UK citizens couldn't point out North Macedonia on a map. And I'd say at least 30% of Europeans don't know what Idaho is. That being said, I won't lie, there is a bit of an American self-glazing problem that leads to them coming across as a bit narrow-minded. And I kind of get it.
Look at that flag. What does he mean self-glazing? Like aggrandizing? That's what I'm going to take it as.
Glazing problem that leads to them coming across as a bit narrow-minded. And I kind of get it, okay? The other day I was getting some of my tax shit sorted out. Oh my god, man. I get it. I fucking get it, guys. If I was out here paying them Louisiana tax brackets, I would probably dick ride my country as well. However, this low tax, high personal spending policy that some American states have kind of means if you're well off, you can go to a good school guaranteed. But if you're poor, you're stuck going to a public school, which might be fine in some states, but bruh.
POV learning you have to attend Louisiana public school, a fate worse than death. I'm not familiar with Louisiana public school.
Bruh.
Dude, coming to school, you had a huge zit on you. That thing was heavy. Some of them, dude, I had acne so bad. One time, I remember having one zit. It was kind of heavy on the side of my face. Like, damn. I had to have one of my buddies kind of just pull down on my other ear, just to keep my head straight. Because I had that heavy Z, baby, that big zitty, that baked ziti on my side. I was fully Italian, that little bust lump. That acne, that
bust lump.
And obviously, bad public schooling only affects a certain fraction of the American population, but I feel like it's this fraction of Americans that Europeans make fun of, call stupid, and stereotype as the entire country. Those inbred fucking brainless hillbillies running around like animals with their machine guns and freedom. But let's be real, these people aren't crazy rednecks. They seem pretty normal. Why can none of them tell me where Asia is on a map?
That would be Asia.
No, that's Africa.
Why can none of them seem to grasp the concept of a country?
What country is the Queen of England from?
What is the country again? What is a country? What is a country? Canada.
Well, aside from these videos being relatively nitpicked, I think the main reason for Americans' general ignorance about other countries and cultures kind of comes down to how the American media presents the rest of the world to Americans. American film studios can simply make so much more money if they make foreign things seem more familiar to an American audience.
I watched a video about, gosh, it's been months, but it was about how our own government has fed us propaganda about the rest of the world, and the government keeps us from seeing information about the rest of the world because the government wants us to be so pro-American and that this is the greatest place in the world. And that's been going on for a long time, over 100 years.
I guess it makes it easier to understand and buy into and be invested in, For example, I bet Mamma Mia would have flopped if they had bulky, hairy Greek actors with thick Greek accents, as opposed to the chiseled white American Hollywood celebrities they casted. It's set in fucking Greece. Not a word of Greek is spoken in the entire film. I mean, they even dub over all the original songs, which are sung with Swedish accents, with relatable American sounding voices, And surprise, surprise, it became the 6th highest grossing film in the US. If they kept this film Swedish and Greek, they would have sold 0 copies, I'm telling you. This intentional America washing of foreign cultures is all throughout Hollywood.
Yeah, I just watched Napoleon, the Ridley Scott film with Joaquin Phoenix in it, and Joaquin Phoenix is playing Napoleon, but he's speaking with an American accent. I thought, wow, that like do we really need that? Like why can't they speak French? It would be so much more believable. You know, ever since Parasite won Best Picture a few years ago, that movie was totally in Korean and it won Best Picture. We can tolerate subtitles. We don't have to have everything in English. We can read. I think people would have enjoyed Napoleon more, the movie. Not the man, but the movie, if it was actually in French. I just think it would be better. The American accents were distracting because there were also British actors who were speaking with British accents, and Napoleon has an American accent. It was strange. Anyway,
They would have sold 0 copies, I'm telling you. This intentional
Maybe.
America
I
washing
don't
of
know.
foreign cultures is all throughout Hollywood. Whenever a film is set abroad, the main character still has an American accent. I mean, they even make foreign actors change their voices, even if their American accents are horrible.
What's up with that boy? I heard he was out the game. Where you been at? You got heat?
I guess because it would be so catastrophic for the film studio's revenue if there was a strand of foreign culture in their blockbuster productions. This
I don't believe that. Like I said, Parasite changed it. We'd be into it.
revenue if there was a strand of foreign culture in their blockbuster productions. This very subtle brainwashing has big consequences for the average American though. For example, less than 40% of them have a valid passport.
I think this is because we're physically isolated and we have states that are right next to us that are kind of like a different country. Whereas in Europe, you have different countries, you can drive for a couple hours and you're in a different country. We have Mexico and Canada right next to us, and that's it. And we do go to Mexico and Canada. But to go to France is a much more involved journey than it is for a British person. British person gets on a train. We got to take a 12-hour flight or something. It's a bigger deal.
Of them have a valid passport, partly because if you don't see any value or have never been taught anything about foreign cultures, why would you leave the US? We got every single natural landscape you could ever imagine. We got every goddamn fast food establishment you could ever dream of.
That's right, boy.
We got every culture here already.
That's right.
We got every historical site and element you could ever fathom. The difference with us Europeans, aside from on average having more well-funded public schools, is that we literally need to know about foreign cultures because chances are the weather gets so peak at some point in the year that you need to annually travel to another country briefly just to find your will to live and survive another year, whereas Americans can just get a flight to the other side of their country. No new language, no new culture, no crazy visa restrictions. It's not that easy if you live in the UK, and this is why British people are so obsessed with going on holiday, because they're all stuck on this cold ass rainy island and humans actually need vitamin D to survive. This means your average Brit at least looks at a map once a year when planning the next lad's getaway, which is probably more often than some Americans look at a map.
Oh yeah.
Clearly.
What two countries border the U.S.? What's like the country above us and below us?
Come on.
South America, North America.
At least he knows there's a difference between South America and North America. And you know what? He's given himself a "How's your father?" I think there's a wide range of intelligence. And a lot of these videos that show dumb Americans not able to name a country on a map, for my own sanity, I have to believe that these have been edited and there were probably 20 or 30 people who could name a country and they just found like that 1 in 30 that doesn't know or doesn't remember it from school. I've got to believe that. I just can't imagine how you can't find a single other country on a map, or you can't answer the question, where is the Queen of England from? And you don't know what a country is. What? Amazing. I hadn't thought about people going on holiday, that kind of thing. I like the narrator's voice. I like the way he talks. I like his accent. It's easy to understand, and yet it's still very British. I don't know where it's from. I don't think it's received pronunciation. I think it's Oliver Twist on crack. This was really interesting. Thank y'all for watching this with me. Be sure to pick up a mug. Look at this mug. Anyway, thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.